The rumor mill continues as Call of Duty 2025 may not be exclusive to current gen systems. Michael Heritage over at PSU. We talk about it all the time. When will we say goodbye to the PS4 and the Xbox One? Sounds like Call of Duty's not doing it this time. Charlie Intel is reporting that Call of Duty 2025 could still come to last generation consoles nearly 5 years after the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S cycle kicked off. At which point, many expected the franchise to drop the PS4 and the Xbox One versions of the annual franchise. Michael, I get it. It's hard to say goodbye to a massive audience. But at what point do you gotta just say, let go, man? Because you're just losing what could be a much better version because you have to then downscale to make sure it works on these other platforms, right? Like, there's just, what are you guys doing here? But let's continue on, as Call of Duty has long been a cross-generation series, with Call of Duty Black Ops 3, for example, releasing on PS3 and the Xbox 360 alongside PS4 and the Xbox One, which by that point had been out for 2 years. It now appears that Activision is planning to support last generation hardware for this year's outing too. Call of Duty 2025 could still release on PS4 and Xbox One. Per sources, supporting last gen in 2025 is a wild decision, but the game is in development for old consoles from what we've heard. Activision hasn't officially announced this year's entry in the multi-million selling first-person shooter franchise, but a report in December 2023 claimed that the game will be a direct sequel to Black Ops 2 and is codenamed Saturn. Call of Duty 2025 is allegedly set 5 years after the events of Black Ops 2 in the year 2030 and will reportedly featuring a remastered maps of Black Ops 2 to boot. Michael, where are you at? You happy for this? Excited for this? Worried for the last generation still be included? What's going on?
I think as far as the last generation being included, I'd be curious the difference between the PS4, the Xbox One, and the Xbox S. That's where I wonder if that difference is close enough, and they're saying, look, we're already required to put this on the S. If it's only 5% worse, just put it out on these old consoles. We're probably gaining a couple 100,000 people, and we've already got to make a version that's nearly as bad. I'm curious if the S is the reason that they're saying, look, we're going to keep supporting these old consoles for a little bit longer. You and I have talked about it. The S just does not have that power. I would be curious if that's the reason we end up hearing from Call of Duty basically saying, look, you're required to put it on the S. Let's just put it on the lower consoles. Me personally, talked about it. I'm not the Black Ops guy. I don't like how it feels. I don't like how that game looks. So the fact that it looks like it's going to be a sequel to Black Ops 2 has me a little disappointed. I do know we got Modern Warfare games for a couple of years, so I understand. We used to alternate. We've had a ton of different systems. Call of Duty fans know. We used to alternate, then we got a third studio, so we'll see. I have yet to really find a Black Ops game that has really hit for me, Drew, since like Black Ops 1 and even Black Ops 2. So maybe this is the charm, but the most recent one, it just, something about the gameplay, it just doesn't click the way that the Modern Warfare series does for me, Drew. But I will be honest, Call of Duty is also not like a graphically impressive game to me, right? I want to go in, I want to shoot people, I want it to look okay. I don't need it to be top of the line, right? I don't need it to be made for the PS5 Pro, the Xbox Series X, the 50 series graphics cards, right? I just need it to look decent. So that's the other reason why I understand. We're not like Monster Hunter here. We're not trying to look pretty. We're just trying to play, and for that, I also understand where I were on the last gen. But what about you, Drew?
Yeah, it's hard to just say goodbye to the install base that's still there. Not everybody has now gone over to the PS5 and the Xbox Series consoles. They still have and are holding on to those last gen consoles, and that's where their friends are, and that's where they're playing still. How do you say goodbye to all that money, right? That's what they look at. At the end of the day, Activision is a business who is now obviously a part of Xbox, Microsoft, all that kind of stuff. But they're like, how do we make the most bang for our buck? You put it everywhere, right? We talk about Xboxes everywhere now at this point anyways. But when you take a look at last gen consoles, how do you not want to step it up and go current gen consoles? Less SKUs to worry about, less problems and issues to worry about, Michael. Think about that for a second, right? When we just have two, technically three, when you talk about the Series S, that has to work there as well, right? So you have the PS5, the PS5 Pro, the Xbox Series X, and the Xbox Series S. If you have those four consoles to work on, now you eliminate two. Well, technically you have the PS4, the PS4 Pro, the PS4, the Xbox One, and the Xbox, my goodness, man. So many SKUs just tend to jumble up and complicate the matter of it not working. If you're able to focus on where you can head next, then you're able to innovate and move things forward. Where now this just holds the game back. Is that really that much of a holdback though? It can be. I honestly think it can. I think they need to then let's leverage the current hardware we're at and push it further, because I don't think they've completely tapped into where we're at yet. Things are getting prettier by the day, but at the same time, dude, you just can't say goodbye to all that money.